dystopia warning, obviously. I wasn't going to do another dystopia warning before the end of the year because I don't know about you, I've had enough of them. I'm sick of them. But if I come on here and I don't tell you about, I don't know, a Tory MP getting chucked out of a brothel naked at 4 a.m, fearing that he's the victim of a foreign honey trap operation. Well, there's one way to not get involved in a honey trap, isn't there? Yeah. Keep it in your pants, you mad toff. Or, I don't know, a Tory MP being suspended for having loads of Charlie Sheen on a baking tray. A baking tray! Still to this day. They can't even sesh properly, let alone run a country. Yeah, if I don't come on here and tell you about stuff like that, then I feel like, I don't know, somewhere a Tory might prosper. We can't be having that. No, because they're cunts. I was actually thinking the other day about compiling, a litany of their crimes over the last 14 years and how difficult it would be. Yeah, even the last year, it'd be like War and Peace, except no peace, just war and shit. It's got to the point now where they're just committing crimes in plain sight and legislating against objective reality, like with the Rwanda plan. People say to me, how do they get away with it, Tan? How do they get away with these blatant, persistent crimes? Well, ever heard of the British press? British press are the people that are really in control in this country, especially the tabloids. They're not headlines, they're party lines. Something that old Warburton knows a fair amount about. We probably paid for that. And one of the most offensive aspects of it is that he put it on a greasy surface. Because I've been a little bit clinically fed up, I was going to do a personal post saying thank you. I mean, thank you, but it's a bit self-indulgent, and it's like having a big old wank on camera. Which, if the electricity bills continue to rise, it might be my new job. Only Tans. There's a bunch of little basement dwellers out there already that think that I'm putting on some kind of like angry political, low-budget babe station for centrist dads, so fuck it, Seriously though, if I don't post for a little while, I do get a few people messaging me going, Tan, have you been Diana'd? As if MI5 would think I'm important enough to asphyxie wank off a door handle. That wouldn't be the way to embarrass me anyway. I'd be up for it. My friends would read the news reports and they'd go, yep, that's what she would have wanted, joke's on them. Anyway, what I'm coming on here to say to you today is that there's a few things to be cheerful about, yeah. I'm not usually in the business of dispensing optimism, so hold tight. Because the days of Eton immunity are coming to an end, oh yes. That clown college of a government is falling apart in slow motion, and it's fucking delicious. It's sustaining me, watching them just tear chunks out of each other online. So here's a little bit of good news. Firstly, Prince Harry won his phone hacking case and named Piers Morgan directly in his statement. The lawyer claimed that Piers Morgan knew all about the phone hacking. Piers took it really badly and it was hilarious.
Repeatedly exposed in recent years as someone who wouldn't know the truth.
And in other news, Labour are 20 points ahead and predicted a majority at the next general election that can only be described as really fucking naughty. And here's a map that will give anyone with sense a general erection. In other news, Lord Bethells. Remember this fella? He went full Wagatha Christie. Lord Bethells was responsible for overseeing the COVID contracts, right? But he accidentally on purpose got rid of his phone, wiped the fucker, before his messages could be retrieved because they were conducting government business via WhatsApp, because that's not dodgy, is it? In an attempt to deflect attention away from the fact the government gave, shitloads of money to Mone, who has now admitted her involvement in MedPro despite trying to sue a bunch of journalists for reporting the truth about it, he tweeted this, right? And guess what he included as the picture? A message from 2020. Just magically happened to have that in his possession, did he? Despite claiming that all the rest of his messages had just magically disappeared. Lying bastards, honestly. They have been lying from the onset to the COVID inquiry. I can't recall. I don't know where those messages went. The moment they realised an inquiry was on the cards, most of them turned on disappearing messages. You realise that, right? And one of the most galling aspects of watching the COVID inquiry for me has been watching those that stand up and protest and say what they want to say, being chastised and silenced when they deserve a medal for not just launching themselves at the fuckers, sitting there, lying to the public, lying to the bereaved. I'm not one to shame anyone for using fillers and Botox. I think they're great. I also think that Mone is at risk of going full death becomes her. If she's not careful, she's literally not going to be able to speak soon. She's like a sad candle, mate. Well, at least we know where our taxpayers' money's gone, mostly on private clinics that should be saying to her, roll it back, love. Maybe spend that money on a yacht. Well, another one. What else? Well, we haven't had a Tory wrongcock in a while, have we? Well, not since that cupboard wanking weirdo. But this one's like beyond satire, right? Do you know what his name is? Peter Bone. He's called Peter Bone. Old boner. Or as someone else typed, and I wish I'd said it first, bone alone. Turns out old boner's bad erection triggered a by-election. Nothing to laugh about. Just another Tory Free Willy. There was an investigation by Parliament which upheld 5 allegations of bullying, including verbally belittling the member of staff, physically striking him and throwing things at him, alongside exposing himself on an overseas trip. He fought it. A recall petition was triggered, and that's going to result in a by-election, which Labour will win. And then there'll be a general election, which Labour will win. But the person that gets to decide when we have a general election is a tiny, petulant multi-millionaire with mad trousers, mate. It wasn't even elected by the public, no. It has no mandate for what he's doing. It was elected essentially via a posh Tory raffle. He won, we all lost. Makes you proud to be British, doesn't it? But join me in raising a toast to the last Tory Christmas. The general election is going to be held in 2024, and it's not too early to start getting yourself ready for it. Vote tactically. Eat a Tory off a fucking pear. Individually our power has been limited, but collectively that's where the power is. The only form of protest that we can't get jailed for yet is voting. Now no leader, no party should ever be beyond reproach. But it's time to deal with the emergency first, and then the work begins. Then you lay out your aims. But we've got to make sure first and foremost the most vulnerable people in society are safe from this posh, inept, corrupt hunt farm. They're running around like a posh mafia ring, and if we don't deal with them, we'll get nothing we want. And times are hard because of them. So hold tight and rest assured, next Christmas they'll be gone and humiliated, but not in the way they like, no, in the way we like. Fuck the Tories.